At this hour, after Chief Justice John Roberts put a temporary hold on tomorrow's scheduled ending of Title 42, the pandemic-driven rule that allows the U.S. to turn many asylum seekers away at the southern border.
As everybody's waiting to figure out what happens with Title 42 and the Supreme Court's decision, the state of Texas, in the meantime, is trying to message to migrants that the Texas border, at least, is going to be closed.
Fox's Bill Malugin in Eagle Pass, where shipping containers are lined up as a makeshift wall, while troopers, razor wire, and National Guard members have been sent to another section of the Rio Grande River in Texas. An earthquake that hit overnight in Northern California is now blamed for at least 2 deaths and 11 injuries. They're still assessing damage around Ferndale near the Oregon border. Thousands of flights already delayed nationwide as a winter storm begins its march across the country. A mixture of Midwest snow and East Coast rain that will also send much of the nation into a dangerous deep freeze.
We're talking about Arctic air pouring down from Canada, running through Saturday morning. It's 57 million Americans under some form of wind chill alert.
Fox Weather's Ian Oliver, and the added concern is that strong winds could knock out power in areas with sub-zero conditions. That storm expected to rapidly intensify Thursday around the Great Lakes region. Some major airlines urging travelers to rebook around the worst of it.
It's the worst possible time for this bomb cyclone, if that's what it turns out to be, to hit, because we're going to have almost record travel. 112 million people, according to the folks at AAA, are going to travel in some form over the Christmas holiday. That's an increase of about 3.5 million.
Fox Business' Jeff Flock at Philadelphia International Airport. Just getting word Ukraine's president plans to visit Capitol Hill tomorrow night for a joint meeting of Congress. He does not appear to have been out of Ukraine since Russia invaded 300 days ago. America is listening to Fox News.
Updated COVID vaccines are here, just in time for the season that brings us all closer. Just in time for added protection against the original COVID virus and Omicron. Just in time for crowded stores and great big family dinners. Updated COVID protection is here. And if you haven't had a vaccine since September, it's time to give yourself the gift of updated protection. Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Testosterone levels are at an all-time low. Individual T levels decline 1% every year. CHOQ, CHOQ, is the new champion of natural testosterone boosters. CHOQ's main ingredient is clinically studied to naturally boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity and boost your daily energy with CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack. For a limited time, our listeners will get 30% off at CHOQ.com with promo code USA. CHOQ.com, code USA.
Convicted killer Scott Peterson is denied a new trial in California.
The judge rejecting his claim that one of the jurors from his original trial in 2004 was so biased against him that it tainted his conviction for the murder of his pregnant wife, Lacey, and their unborn son, Connor.
Fox's Claudia Cowan in San Francisco, where the bodies of where Lacey's body was dumped in the bay on Christmas Eve 20 years ago. Peterson can appeal today's ruling. 8 teenage girls are accused of stabbing a man to death in Canada. Police in Toronto say the suspects, ranging in age from 13 to 16, apparently met on social media and took part in a swarming, assaulting the man in downtown Toronto early Sunday. Police also say a number of weapons were seized, no details released. The 59-year-old victim had recently been living in the city's shelter system. The suspects remain in custody, due back in court later this month. 2 Americans are released in Afghanistan.
2 Americans were released from Taliban detention in Afghanistan and were on their way to Doha, Qatar. State Department spokesman Ned Price confirmed the release Tuesday.
This, we understand to have been a goodwill gesture on the part of the Taliban. This was not part of any swap of prisoners or detainees. There was no money that exchanged hands.
Though Price noted it was not lost on the State Department that this release came on the day the Taliban announced all women would not be allowed to attend universities anymore. Price would not go into detail about those Americans released, though CNN said filmmaker Ivor Shearer was released, as was another American whose name wasn't immediately disclosed. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Stocks snap a losing streak. The Dow finishing up 92 points today. The Nasdaq gaining just 1 point, but in the green. The S&P up nearly 4 points. Oil prices getting back over $76 a barrel. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and Van Ham Saturday, little in the way of sensible weather changing as it applies to this major and mammoth late week storm across Eastern Illinois. Planned accordingly. In the meantime, partly sunny this afternoon. A snowflake around this morning, 36 down to 21 for tonight. A couple of snowflakes around tomorrow, early and late, the high near 31. Snow will break out after midnight tomorrow night, low down to 28. And there will be periods of snow, and that snow will grow heavy late in the day, Thursday into Thursday night. Preceding that, a period of some mixed freezing rain, sleet, and snow for Thursday morning along at Eastern I-57, high near 35, and plummeting temperatures. Winter storm and blizzard conditions then Thursday night into Friday. West-northwest winds gusting to 55 to 60 miles per hour. Falling temperatures with snow accumulations of 4 to 10 inches, probably highest and heaviest north of Champaign. By Saturday morning, lows near 5, below the high near 6, with additional blowing and drifting continuing on. Temperatures expected to moderate as weather quiets down early next week. For Stephen J. Broadcasting, I'm Rochas, Greg Solgay.
It's showtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Pipes is writing down a lot of stuff. I'm just going to go from the gut. And joining us now, Coach Bielema, Josh Whitman joining us now.
You get to say all the cool name drops.
Do it.
Brad Underwood, our guest.
College hoops.
How do you lose to Jackson State?
Call up every single person in the media that didn't put Kofi first team All-American. And I don't know, just play like clown noises.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh, Michael Porter Jr. has been good, but he thinks the earth is flat, so I can't pick him.
Oh, boy.
Throw it up to Kofi, and he's just going to tear the rim off.
How is he so good? All right, Hans, I'm going to mute you for a while.
Okay.
Oh, there's a timeout on the court!
So what we want to do is build a same-game parlay that will win all of us some money.
Maybe Rondale Moore could beat Cooper Kupp, but he's not. Is it Instagram?
Yeah.
Is that what IG means?
I think you have to win the Big Ten title to win Big Ten Player of the Year.
Woohoo!
Wow, what a bad take.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Here comes the cold, I think. It is The Drive with Tay and Piper. I'm Lon Tay, Derek Piper here as well. The winter storm on its way. And I you know, it's usually whenever stuff like that happens, it kind of catches me off guard because I just don't really sit there and follow the weather that much. Now, it helps that we play Greg Solier going into each hour, and I a lot of times will listen to him if I need to know what's going on. But this thing is just all over the place. I went to YouTube today to listen to some Brett Bielema real quick, and there's like 6 videos on how to prepare for the storm or what exactly is going to happen in the storm. And I'm like, what in the...
Do they say don't drive to St. Louis?
I think that was part of it. That was
okay.
one of the 10 things they told you not to do.
All right.
They compared this thing to 1978, but not with the snow total. So you weren't born, my friend. I was only 8 years old. Actually, I was 7 years old, and 7 or 8. We had the most snow that anybody around here has ever seen, except for maybe way back. I don't know. But that was the most snowfall around here to where, I mean, school was closed for weeks. You know, I mean, it was just incredible how much snow there was. And but this one, I don't know. They're just saying it's just going to be blistery cold. I mean, just horribly. So you're going to get enough snow to where when you get 50-mile-an-hour winds and negative 20 to 30 degree temperatures, then that's what kind of keep you off the road. So you, my friend, have your son's first Christmas.
I do.
This weekend you do not want to miss.
That is correct.
So I don't know.
I'm currently expected to drive on Thursday to St. Louis.
And get back Saturday?
Yeah, that's the thing. My dad just texted me, actually. He's like, you should probably book 2 nights of a hotel.
Yeah, you
just
should.
Just in case. Because Friday's
supposed to be the worst,
The
right?
wind gusts are supposed to be up to 50 miles an hour, and while the snow might subside, it will be like it's snowing because it'll be blowing all over the road, and I do not want to be in a ditch.
You don't.
On my way home for Christmas. They'll make a Hallmark movie about it, and I don't want any part of that.
Cade's First Christmas. That'll be the title. And meanwhile, it's you in a ditch near Greenville, Illinois, sitting there staring at the prison. saying, I wonder if I could go in there if it would be a little bit warmer than it is right here. Yeah, I would not risk that. I'd rather just stay. I'm sure maybe they're not going to get as much snow down south, so you may be able to drive a little bit further north, but you just don't want to risk it to the point where it's like, okay, I better stop now and get.
It's just basketball.
Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly right. And really, I don't know. I know you're supposed to be covering it. It's your job, but yeah, I don't know. Well, be safe, my friend, if you do head down.
Appreciate it.
So you're going to
got a day to figure out what I'm going to do.
It's like fantasy football. You got a day to figure out who you're going to put in your lineup.
It's questionable right now. It's questionable.
It's like, what do I do? What do I do? All right, the big news of today is Brett Bielema is obviously staying put, but he was awarded with an extension on his contract, and it's an extension that will now pay him. He was going to make $4.4 million next season, and I had mentioned to you that I think Ryan Walters was going to make more than that, and he is. He's going to make about $5 million. So Josh Whitman stepped up today and gave an extension to Brett Bielema that will pay him next season $6 million plus incentives. So your Illinois football coach is now making $6 million plus incentives, of course, and obviously you want to keep Brett Bielema around. So it's a contract extension. You knew it was going to happen, right? We knew this was going to happen. You go 8-4 and get Illinois into contention for a possible Big Ten championship game. We know that didn't happen. And then you're now in a Florida Bowl game on January 2nd. Well, you're going to get rewarded for that. So Brett Bielema has been rewarded. The extension has happened. Are you okay with Brett Bielema making $6 million?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not my money, number one. Right. Number two, I think looking around the Big Ten, for him to only be behind James Franklin, Jim Harbaugh, Ryan Day, and Mel Tucker.
Wow.
So fifth there on the list,
okay,
I believe. I don't know what Matt Rule. That was from last year's salary.
Oh.
I don't know what Matt Rule's getting per year to ink in Nebraska. And even Luke Fickell, he probably paid a pretty penny to get him to Wisconsin.
There's no doubt.
To
essentially top half of the Big Ten.
Yeah, top half of the Big Ten for sure. And to already have in year 2 Illinois get 8 wins and go to the ReliaQuest, it's a big deal. And it's ahead of schedule in terms of what I would have expected for this program. Now we'll see. It's all about sustainability. It's all about consistency with this program, which we just haven't seen forever, really, in terms of until you go back to the 80s and early 90s where there was actually consistently good football, and year in and year out you could expect a bowl team, that kind of deal. That's a challenge for Brett Bielema to continue to push ahead and achieve, but he's shown great things, and you got to be able to lock him up. You got to make him happy here so that he's not someone that others can look and say, oh, we could poach him away from Illinois. But you also get, in addition to the $6 million annual salary, you're going to have a $500,000 annual retention income. So as that goes up, you're going to just, if you decide to stay here another year, here's another $500,000.
There's another $500,000. I've got that here. Do you have that?
No.
Oh,
I
should not have said anything.
I thought I'd get there once Hans left and was off the payroll. But
you know what happened to me? It was a 10-year claw. Is it triggered after 10 years? Stevie told me 10 years ago, you stay here for 10 years and I'll give you a retention of $500,000. So that's where I'm at now. So that's good. I shouldn't have brought that up. I thought maybe you were getting.
It's all
that.
good. It's all good. Sore subject. Moving on.
Right.
As far as nationally, if you look at where that would have ranked, $6 million a year, that would have been 14th in the country. So a top 15 salary in all of college football.
That's impressive. And look, Brett Bielema's doing some things. Obviously built the brand new house. I think he's here to stay, similar to Brad Underwood. You're probably going to be needing to look at an extension soon for Shauna Green, who's doing some things, 10-2. I've got a little clip from her. They play tomorrow at noon, by the way, at State Farm Center. So that is a chance for, I'm assuming, a lot of kids that are out of school, maybe a chance to go catch the Illini women's basketball game. They play Florida Atlantic at noon at State Farm Center. So we'll hear a little bit from Coach Green here in a second as well. But, just a lot of stuff going on. You got signing day tomorrow. Of course, we haven't, I don't know that they've officially announced Aaron Henry as the defensive coordinator.
I know. We were talking about that amongst the media today, and it's like, why has there not been a press release put out? Aaron hasn't been made available to the media yet. He was announced at halftime of the Illinois-Alabama A&M game, where the team came out and then he took the microphone and said, "Here's your new defensive coordinator, Aaron Henry," but there's been nothing official as far as a press release or a chance to hear from him directly.
Okay, so a little strange, but obviously Brett Bielema a couple of days ago talked about Aaron Henry and making him the new defensive coordinator. In fact, I just happened to have a soundbite from Brett Bielema on Aaron Henry and kind of his ascension to this spot.
Watched this young man grow from the practice fields when he was a junior in high school when I offered him to his first GA job, to talking him out of becoming a pastor because I told him he'd affect more lives as a coach, to where he's come full circle. I know I can see him. He called the defenses this year at times during the course of the season, and the way that we do things defensively, I thought he would give us the best option to continue the success we've had.
That surprised you right there when you heard
when he
that.
said he called the defense on this year.
On occasion.
Interesting.
So I wonder if Ryan Walters, I wonder if that is something that was planned to where maybe in a blowout. I don't know. Maybe, in other words, second half of a game against Virginia when you're up big, possibly you say, all right, Aaron, here's your chance. Call a few plays on defense. I don't know. A question I should ask Jay sometime, or just somebody in the coaching profession, the difference between a defensive coordinator calling plays or an offensive coordinator. Because, obviously there's more plays offensively. So you would think, like Barry Lunny Jr. is constantly looking ahead going, all right, I'm going to call this play, and if that works, then I'm going to go to this one. I'm guessing they're always like a play ahead, I would assume, in their mind, as much as they can be. But I don't know for a defensive coordinator how much you're really changing things on a snap-by-snap basis. Does that make sense? Or is it more of a series? Like, all right, this series we're going to play this, and then if I see adjustments that need to be made with the offense doing things, I don't know. I don't know that I've ever thought that in all my years in the media of watching football. And I don't know if obviously you see a linebacker almost every play get a call in from the sideline and he turns around and says something to the other guys. So obviously they're calling something every play, and it might just be based on what the offense is showing. All right, they're coming heavy with two tight ends, or they're spreading us out, so here's what we're going to do here. But it's something I've never really thought about as to how much a defensive coordinator calls plays, and is it called every snap like it is offensively?
I would imagine there's a call every snap.
I would assume so too.
And it might be, you might not actually change your coverages, but as you're going to scout the other team and you see their looks, you're going to say, okay, when they're in this formation, we're expecting this. So that might just be, you might even just be calling in what you think they're going to run, more so than like changing what you're going to do on the backside or anything. But I think that it varies, obviously, when you have like super blitz heavy teams. I think about the Ravens defenses that might get a little exotic with their looks and how many guys they're going to put in the box, or they're going to try to bait you with, we're going to show this guy coming, but he's actually going to drop out, and then we're going to blitz from these different angles. That's where it can get a little bit more, maybe you change more down after down after down. But with Illinois, it seemed like a lot of times it was play man-to-man on the outside, and at times you were going to put, stack the box and bring a good amount of people. But, I'm not a football coach. I know that we'll even have some, at the high school level that listen to us will probably have even a better perspective.
Yeah,
but
they're right now they're going, boy, Tay knows nothing.
I think it would be as far as what they expect the offense to run, and that would be part of what gets signaled in.
We could ask Michael Marquez.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's going to come on at 4:30, Illinois tight end. He's played some defense, if I'm correct. Wasn't he like linebacker as well? So, I think you can double-check that, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. I think he's switched to where but he's going to join us at 4:30, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
2020, he started 2 games at linebacker.
There we go. So we can ask him this question. We got the perfect guy to ask in 10 minutes, Michael Marquez, who's going to join us, getting ready as Illinois is getting ready for the bowl. Of course, the ReliaQuest Bowl. Tomorrow is signing day. Pat Embleton's going to join us right at the top of the show to talk about the class itself. Appreciate that being set up by Brett Moore and helping us out here on some stuff. So that's going to be awesome. Big class coming in for Illinois, and we'll talk all about that tomorrow. Wanted to play another one from Brett, and this one was from Coach. Is just kind of if you were like me, because I did it. If you were like me and said, why is Kevin Kane, who has been a defensive coordinator, why is he not the guy for Brett Bielema? Why is Aaron Henry? I think this is a little bit of proof as to why Brett Bielema likes his choice.
I'd had Aaron as a young coach as a GA, but he had never been a full-time coach in my presence. But I'd had all these coaches that he had worked with talked about the touch that he has, the voice that he carries. So when I first got here, I let all of my coaches address the team in spring about any subject they wanted to address them on. And I remember sitting in a room and watching, and here's a young man that I saw as an 18-year-old player stand in front of me, and he had me, goosebumps. And I literally said to Walt after that meeting, I said, he's got it, doesn't he? And he's like, he's got it big time, right? And now I see his football knowledge.
There you go. He's got it big time.
Got a big time.
He kind of went like DJ voice there for Brett Bielema. But, yeah, I mean, you hear that, something special, obviously, out of Aaron Henry. We had on the U of I Atlantic Lake text line, Christian asked, will Walters coach the bowl game? I assume he means for Purdue? Like, he's not coaching for Illinois.
He's not coaching for Illinois, and I don't believe he's coaching for Purdue either.
I wouldn't think so there. So, yeah, but no, definitely not for Illinois.
Isn't Drew Brees coming in as
He's coming in for something.
In some form or fashion?
Well, speaking of that, Brett Bielema touched on who is exactly coaching this defense, and how's this going to work at the bowl?
Right now for the bowl game, Aaron will take over the entire back end. He'll coach corners and safeties. Obviously, he's worked with the corners, but he took the safeties quite a bit. He took all the DBs at times. Ryan, if he was engaged with other parts of the defense. So I see Aaron kind of fulfilling that same type of situation. How it plays out, I have an idea of a couple DB coaches that I want. There's two that are at the forefront. One really that I probably be pretty quick to act on if I want. And then up front, I really don't know how that's going to play out. I've been bombarded and overwhelmed with people reaching out to me, NFL, college coordinators, non-coordinators, former head coaches. So I'm really going to take my time with that one. Staffing is everything for me. I knew that I wanted Aaron to be the voice. I literally, when Ryan called to tell me he took the job, I told him I was taking Ryan to the coordinator position, and it's just something I felt pretty strong about. And the other stuff will kind of just play out. J-Mo and Andy will handle the front. We have Preston Gordon, who's a GA for us, will help with the outside backers.
J-Mo, of course, Terrence Jamison, and then Andy is Andy Boo. Linebacker coach. Kevin Kane coached the outside linebackers, and that's where he mentioned the young man I've never heard of, Preston Gordon, will help out on that. So that's kind of what you got. I mean, look, you're not going to have a lot of the players that you'd normally see. Maybe not a lot, but you're not going to have a few of them. You're going to have coaches doing different things. I mean, it's going to be an interesting day at Raymond James Stadium.
A little different.
As long as it's 70 degrees and sunny and
a fun football game.
Lon's got a cold Bud Light in his hand, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't care who's coaching the defense or who's running the football. I do care who runs the football. I want to see Chase Brown set the single-season rushing record, and I want to see him become the all-time leader this season in rushing. How do I say that? Do you ever have a stat you can't say?
Yes, or how to properly phrase it.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say.
So you're trying to...
Not all time, just the rushing leader for this season.
A single-season record holder for the most
rushing yards
in a season.
Yeah. You know what I can't ever say? Home plate umpire. Like, I will be like, well, the home... and I'll every time I stop, or running backs coach. Because I've said it before where I'm going fast and I say the runnings back coach.
Runnings back.
It's like, there's just little funny things that kind of twist your tongue, I guess, as it goes.
Before we catch a break, can I ask you this?
Yeah.
You're talking about salaries within the Big Ten or even nationally, and I said I didn't know what Matt Rule was going to get paid at Nebraska. Can you guess his annual salary with the Huskers?
I bet it's pretty good. I'm going to go higher, so I'm going to go $8 million.
It is 9.25.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay.
Yep.
So if you've got a child, say 8th grade, get him into coaching. Absolutely.
So you have Mel Tucker at 9.5. You got Ryan Day at 9.5. And then Matt Rule's going to slot in there in terms of the Big Ten at 9.25. And then you go down and Harbaugh's at 7, Franklin's at 7, and Brett Bielema is at 6.
Now, Harbaugh at 7 is the biggest upset of that list. That's Michigan.
And surely that'll change after
you would think
another playoff appearance.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be double figures. That, to me, is the upset of that entire list, is Jim Harbaugh making $7 million. Of course, can you imagine contract negotiations with Jim Harbaugh? Jim, I feel like we need to bump you, man. We got to give you a raise. Yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. We got a pretty good team. So
love my guys.
Yeah, love my guys. We won the Big Ten. I mean, I'd probably do a raise. I mean, I just can't imagine what that's like to sit in a room with him. John seems to be very normal. John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And their dad, who coached forever, seemed to be very normal. Jim is just taking kind of an exotic path or something.
Different dude.
He got different glasses now, and he just
look at the flat bill.
Yes.
I like the hat. I mean,
do you think he goes, like, he gets in his car, shuts it's dark. He shuts the door. It's real dark. And then he just goes, oh, man, I'm tired of trying to act like that. Oh, my goodness. Lindy said he took a pay cut to not get fired.
He did a few years ago.
Okay, so there you go.
Luke Fickell, I didn't put him in that list.
Oh, I bet.
I looked up his contract at Wisconsin.
8.7.
7.8.
Oh, okay. So the highest is Ryan Day.
So it goes Mel Tucker and Ryan Day tied at the top.
Makes total sense.
Those guys do belong in the same conversation,
right.
At least those in East Lansing thought so. Then after that, it goes Matt Rule, then Luke Fickell, then Jim Harbaugh, then James Franklin, then Brett Bielema.
Unbelievable. So two guys that have never been a head coach in the Big Ten. Fickell was an interim, right?
At Ohio State, yep.
But he's never been officially a head coach in the Big Ten, and so those two guys are part of the top 5 being paid. It's all about timing.
Sure.
It's all about when a job opens and what the going rate is for that. I don't know. What's it going to be in 20 years? Is the Illinois football coach going to be making $16 to $20 million a year in 20 years? Can you imagine? I don't know. It's all about, hey, listen, that TV money just keeps churning. It just keeps churning. But, hey, listen, Brett Bielema, 8 wins this year, hopefully a 9th in the bowl game with Mississippi State. We'll see what happens, obviously there. But just really cool and a good season, and one that really could have been special. Still a pretty good season, though, and obviously some guys going off into the NFL. We still don't know yet about, like, Johnny Newton, Keith Randolph. I guess there's the hope. Chase Brown. There's kind of the hope of those guys coming back another season. We still don't know if they're going to play or not in the bowl game, so I'm sure that word will start to trickle out soon as we get along. I think the team heads down the 26th, I think. I know they've started bowl preparation, but I think then they take off and head south for that. Then all the activities begin for them down in Florida. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Michael Marquez, Illinois tight end, going to join us on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. A lot to do today, Will, from Coach Green. Brad Underwood, you met with Brad today. Did anything happen?
Of course you throw that in there.
I'll ask you as we roll along on that. Quick break. It is The Drive.
Accumulation, preservation, generation. At Busey Bank, these are the principles we use to build meaningful financial partnerships with our clients and their families. With sound advice and vast resources, partner with Busey for a personalized approach to your legacy. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
It's the holidays, and you want to shop local. Well, shop at one of the best locally owned retail stores in town. Pard's Western Shop, but it's far more than Western. Pard's has an incredible selection of clothing for men and women and boys and girls with the greatest service and the best boots you can buy. Don't shop online, support all that out-of-town stuff. Shop local. And Pard's will be open expanded holiday hours until December 23rd. They're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, Sundays noon to 5. Pard's in Urbana, 306 North Maple between University and Main in Urbana.
If you need insurance, you gotta go to Insurance Providers Group. They can help you like they've helped me. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. Insurance Providers Group can get you a quote on all aspects of personal, business, agricultural, life, and health insurance and employee benefits. They represent many insurance companies that allow them to provide you with the most competitive rates and the best coverage. Call Kyle Lewis at 217-352-7080 or email Kyle at ipgins.com or go to the website for a quote at ipgnis.com. If you want a steak, I mean a steak, prepared the way you want it, you've got to go to Long Branch Steakhouse. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. It's been over a year since I was introduced to Donnie at the Long Branch Steakhouse in Gifford. And when I want a great steak, that's where I go. And the sides, the Brussels sprouts, the mac and cheese, and the salad with Donnie's secret frog dressing. Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford. Open Wednesday through Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. There's always room for the Long Branch Steakhouse.
Ring in the new year at Pia's with me, Diane Ducey, as your DJ with prizes, watching the ball drop in New York City with the countdown, party favors, and champagne. They're known for their drink specials at Pia's, plus the great food and party atmosphere. It'll be awesome saying bye-bye to 2022 and hello to 2023 with your friends at Pia's Sports Bar and Grill. No cover, no need to get fancy, just have fun. Pia's, 1609 West Springfield Avenue for New Year's Eve.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Mike Greenberg. Catch Lon, Tay, and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Who's Steve? Hey! Hey, Steve! I'm kidding, Dave. U of I Illini Lake text line. Dave said, according to Steve, Chase is not playing, neither's Witherspoon. So I got a couple questions here. I don't know who Steve is. I assume Stevie J.
Could be.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of Steves out there.
The other Brown that's already confirmed to not be playing.
Right. So Chase is not, unless it happened here in the last couple hours, I have not heard about Chase. So, yeah, Sidney Brown and Devin Witherspoon both, they even had a press conference. I thought that was pretty cool for Coach Bielema to get them up there to talk to the media, but they will be sitting out the ReliaQuest Bowl down in Tampa, Florida. Now, I'm not trying to break news here. I don't know, but I am hoping and assuming that tight end Michael Marquez will be playing at Raymond James Stadium. Can you confirm that, Michael? How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Yes, I will be playing.
The wheel route is back in.
I hope so. They throw it to me. I'm just doing my job out there.
Hey, man, and you did a hell of a job this season, as did this entire team. Michael Marquez is our guest on the U of I line. And I'm sorry, the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. My fault on that. Let's start with that, and then we can kind of work backwards with regards to this season. How excited are you and this squad to know you're going to be playing in a bowl game in Florida on January 2nd?
Oh, I mean, it's awesome, and we're so excited. I mean, we get to ditch this weather for a little bit warmer weather, so we're all pretty excited, and everything is earned in this game, and we earned that, and we got to go earn another win against Mississippi State.
Michael, I know you've started the bowl preparations. What's that ramp-up process like as far as the practices? You guys will get down there here in, I think, in a week or so, but what's it been like so far, and how will that play out as we lead up to January 2nd?
It's been good. I mean, we get a little bit of time to kind of rest up and heal our bodies after a Big Ten season, and we also get some good practices in for guys that have been on scout team all year. They get those extra practices that they may not have gotten in during the season. So it's all been good, and we just start our prep and looking forward to Mississippi State, and I'll just keep getting ramped up the closer we get to game day.
Do you tell Chase that if he wants to be the all-time single-season rushing leader, you got him, you got that seal block, you can break him for 50 or 60, and that's all he needs, right?
Yeah, whatever Chase decides, we're behind him, and that goes the same with Spoon and Sydney. I mean, those guys, they've played great for us all year, so we definitely understand their future is very bright, and I'll support them in whatever they decide to do. And they're just great players and great people, so all the best to them.
Amen. Visiting with Michael Marquez, Illinois tight end. Did it matter to you where you were going in a bowl game and who you were playing? We always talk about it as fans. It's fun to visit with. It's fun I love St. Pete Beach. It's my home away from home. So I wanted to get down there to Tampa because I thought that'd be perfect. Go see the beach a couple of days, go watch you guys play, which I'm going to do. But does that matter inside the building as to what game you're going and who you're playing?
Yes and no. Obviously, like every year, we're trying to get to a bowl game. We're trying to get into postseason play, and that's kind of a standard now. But, obviously we want to go to a great destination. Like Tampa's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We had to play in Raymond James Stadium, Pro Stadium, nice weather, great stuff in the city of Tampa. So, I guess it kind of matters. But, we're playing on January 2nd, so that's also awesome. So I guess it does matter, and it doesn't. We're just trying to play as many games as possible.
Yeah.
So we're just glad we're in the postseason.
Is it kind of cool to get an SEC team?
Absolutely. Everyone always talks about the Big Ten and the SEC,
right?
Being the conferences, the top two conferences, and we want to play those type of teams because they're good. They're good teams. Mississippi State's a great team. So, but we also think the teams in the Big Ten, us included, are really good too. So. It's always great competition. That's what we're striving for.
Michael, to go from 2 years ago, you're playing linebacker, and now this year you're catching a couple touchdowns, running those wheel routes like Lon mentioned.
Baby.
What was that transition like, and what's been key for you to be able to contribute and be someone that can be a part of the offense and be a weapon out there for Tommy DeVito?
Yeah, the journey has just really been crazy, honestly. Started a career as a safety and moved to linebacker, and now I'm playing tight end. Really, I just want to just help the team win anywhere that I can. And when Coach B approached me a year ago to switch to tight end, I just took it head on, and I feel like I've really grown over the last year from year one as a tight end to year two as a tight end. So I'm just doing my job and doing it to the best of my ability, and I just want to be a guy that, can do things like that, be able to switch positions and still make an impact. So I love it. I'm just willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Any of the linebackers give you a hard time? Like, you would want to be the guy that catches the ball and slams it in the end zone. We're mucking it up there in the middle, just trying to get some tackles.
Yeah, those are my guys, though. Like Coach Boo, he's freaking awesome. Same with the guys in the room. Some guys give me a little crap for it, but it's all in good nature.
Well, yeah, just show them the ball. Just show them, you just say, hey, here it is, man. You got just as good a chance.
Exactly.
Hey, I asked this question. This is weird. I've been doing this for 30-some years in the media business, and I don't know why, but we were talking about Aaron Henry becoming the defensive coordinator and the idea that he was allowed to call some plays this season. And that kind of surprised me a little bit. But I started thinking to myself, like a defense, like on offense, Barry Lunny Jr. sending in calls every time, right? You're getting calls nonstop in, and you're understanding what play you're going to run, et cetera. On the defensive side, are they making calls every play? And is it as, in other words, is it as busy, if you will, as it is on the offensive side?
They're obviously there's two different things, but yeah, there's always a call every single play. I know, like when Coach Walters was here calling defense, and now Coach Henry, like I know that they would like look at the offense coordinator, and they would just kind of have a feel for things, and they would call something based off that. And I mean, their preparation, Coach Henry and Coach Walters, like their preparation was awesome, and that's to their credit, and that's why we have a great defense, and including the players on the defense side of the ball. Those guys have been awesome. They've been monsters all year. But yeah, I mean, it's a little less dynamic in like a play call, like maybe the length of it, than offense. Like offense, you kind of have like a bunch of different things that you say and stuff like that. So I guess there are some little differences like that, but it all goes into preparation that we do during the week and stuff like that.
See, Pipes, he's talking smack here. He's like, oh, it's a lot more detailed on the offense. I got to know a lot more than my linebacker buddies over here. Hey,
no, it's not like that. It's not like that.
It's like 4. That's all they got to know is 4. Were you shocked with the news of Aaron Henry, or is that something that you obviously embraced and said, yep, he's going to do a great job?
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of embraced it. I mean, Coach Henry earned that. Like I said at the top of this interview, is everything is earned in this game.
Sure.
And Coach Henry has certainly done that as a player and as a coach. He's always been an up-and-coming guy, and he's great around the guys in the locker room, and really just brings out the best out of everyone, especially the DBs. I think you saw that with Spoon this year. Spoon was a monster on the field, so I think guys are really excited to have Coach Henry, and he's going to do a great job for the years to come.
Michael, not to use this to knock the guys that were in the spot before him, but Tommy seemed to elevate this offense to a little bit of a different level at quarterback. We had great completion percentage and just saw some more aggression within the offense that maybe hadn't been there in recent years in terms of throwing on early downs and everything. How did you see that play out, and what did he bring to this team as far as what you saw internally in those huddles and within that offense?
Yeah, I mean, Tommy's a dynamic player. I mean, he could throw it, he could run it. He's tough to defend, and it makes it even harder when he's that accurate. So he just brings a different element to our offense, and that's also a credit to Coach Lunny. He puts us in the right position to succeed, and we just try to do our jobs on offense and let the players play, man. We got good players on the offensive side of the ball, and Coach Lunny just tries to showcase that. So Tommy's been great this year. And I hope I'm sure it'll continue, down the road, whatever path he takes. But yeah, he's been awesome this year, and couldn't be more happy for him.
Michael, you've been here since 2017 as a walk-on, ended up earning the scholarship, which I want to ask you about that. Like, we see those videos, not to say all the time, but every once in a while one pops up on Twitter, and just those are about as cool as it gets to see the team meeting where the coach announces it and the reaction.
Yeah.
Like, what was that like for you, and just how emotional was that for something that you earned after all these years?
Yeah, it was a pretty surreal moment. Really didn't see it coming, honestly. It was actually kind of funny. We had a poor practice that day, or it was either that day or the day before. We had a really poor practice, and we thought Coach B was going to be pretty upset about that. So he was like, all right, we're going to up the physicality, whatever. We're going to introduce this new drill and kind of put us up in the front. So I really didn't see it coming at all. I just think he was just pulling people out of the crowd. And then when he said it, I mean, it was just crazy. Like, it was awesome. Like, I can't really put it into words. My teammates were great, and couldn't have done it without them. And much thanks to Coach B and the staff. I mean, they've been great.
Yeah. And, we got to ask you about Coach B. Obviously gets an extension today, well earned. And it's just, he just has come here. He just seems like a different dude. And I mean that in all the positive ways. He just seems like he gets you guys. He gets us in the media. He gets fans. He just seems like he's the perfect general manager, if you will, for a program. And so far, so good, including in a great season this year. What has it been like, I mean, for someone that has been in that building a while, to have a guy like Coach B scooting around in his slides and his shorts and just kind of chilling out? And, I mean, I assume that, we talk about coach's player, like he's a players coach. I would assume Coach Bielema fits that mold exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a total players coach. I mean, he's just such a difference maker for us, and he just gives us the support that we need. And like you said, he's great with the fans, great with the media. Like he'll get on us a little bit, but just keeping us accountable. And I mean, I could go on and on about Coach B and how awesome he is and what he brings to this team. I mean, you can just see our program's on the rise, and it was never like this in the past. It's just a different level, and the standard has been risen, and you should expect that in years to come. So I'm really happy that he got a contract extension. He definitely earned it, and should be good years ahead.
Amen.
One thing he doesn't lack is confidence.
No.
And he obviously instills that into you guys, and to be able to walk into Wisconsin and surprise people the way that you just blew them off the field, and obviously went on a run there by beating Minnesota and everything. I mean, after early in the year, you feel like you lost the game you should have won in Indiana. What did he do to make sure that didn't derail the season, and then to be able to build the momentum that you guys had to have this kind of year?
Yeah, I mean, that Indiana loss, it was definitely painful, but we learned a lot about ourselves that day. We knew that we were a good team. We went in there expecting to win, and we didn't get it done, but I think ultimately that helped us along that tough patch in the Big Ten and later on in the season. So, it was a negative in the loss column, but it really helped us along the way, and he kind of portrayed that to us, that we are a really good team, and when we expect to win, good things happen, and that just kind of showed that we can play with anyone, and I think you saw that competitiveness all throughout the year, and fortunately, we wish we could have more wins and a couple plays here and there, but can't go back and change that now. And in 4 football team, just on the rise, and we're getting better.
Well done. Well said right there. And by the way, here it comes. We got to hear this.
Better overall coaches.
There he is.
That is complete inside the 20 and a walk-in touchdown. Michael Marquez.
Pretty cool, man. That is something that you'll be able to show the kids one day. And, I mean, that's just something that you'll always have, man. And that's got to be a cool moment to have stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just an awesome moment. I mean, I finally broke through,
Yeah.
Everyone always give me crap about getting stopped at the 1 yard line against Minnesota and then Western Illinois my sophomore year when I was on defense. And so I finally broke through. But it was awesome.
Yeah, you ran away from them. I mean, you ran away from them, Michael. That's right. Hey, I gotta close the interview with this, because I did not realize all of this until today when I read your bio. Obviously, I knew about your brother Jim that played here, Jimmy Marquez, and then I knew you had a twin brother, Henry, of course, that played at Iowa. We won't talk about that. I didn't realize that your dad played at Iowa, your other brother Joe played at Maryland, and your uncle played at Army. That is an amazing string of accomplishments for your family. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy growing up in a competitive family. There were a couple more that I kind of left off the list. I had 2 cousins that played at Northwestern.
Wow.
And my other cousin got an opportunity in the NFL. He was in a camp, but that's as far as he made it. But it's been pretty cool, growing up in a competitive football family like that, and just kind of molded me into who I am today. And credit to my mom as well.
Yeah.
As to deal with all of us. She was in the military, so
wow.
She's dealt with some harder things, I would say. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. And that my dad played at Iowa from 82 to 86. It's kind of crazy how Coach B also he played there, and
right.
He played under Coach Fry, and Coach Ferentz was there. So I kind of I have a connection with that because my dad was, there with Coach Fry, Coach Ferentz, Coach Alvarez, and Coach Snyder. So I just kind of connect with that, and it's just kind of cool, and that has happened.
It's amazing. bachelor's degree in economics, master's degree in management. Michael Marquez is a busy man and getting things done, buddy. Hey, enjoy this trip to the ReliaQuest Bowl. Let's see another one of those touchdowns. I'll be down there. So if you get that touchdown, now I know you're going to spot me and you're going to throw me the ball. So I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, hopefully Coach B doesn't see that. He's going to get on me for not giving the ball back to the official if that does happen.
All of a sudden a penalty, and here we go. I'll be like, hey, we made that promise on the radio show, dang it. Well, Michael.
I had to come through.
Right, exactly. Hey, buddy, congratulations on a fantastic season, and obviously good luck down in Tampa. Really appreciate your time today, my friend.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It was great.
Okay, buddy. That is Michael Marquez. Great stuff there, of course, on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. Man, brother at Iowa, brother at Maryland, dad played Iowa, Jimmy, his brother played Illinois, he played Illinois, his uncle's at Army, he's got cousins at Northwestern, his mom was overseas in the military. I mean, just, hello.
Oof.
What have the Tays done lately?
21 points against Yorkville Christian. That's what we'll lead with.
4 last night. He didn't eat. I said, well, you're not eating on the way home.
He didn't. Oh, I thought you meant he did the Matthew Meyer and didn't eat before.
Oh,
he was fasting.
No, I met him
Didn't
after
eat
the game.
afterwards.
They won, but I looked at him and I said, you know the rule. I don't care if the team wins. I need you to score 20 plus. So you're not eating on the way home. It's that simple. And if you choose to drink some water before bed, that's fine. So, I mean, look, you got to lay down the law at some point, don't you? We can't just, you had 4 points. I mean, what does that do for our legacy? Nothing. There's probably somebody out there going, wow.
Man, this guy sucks. Someone needs to get a phone call.
No, they won again last night. Beat Central A&M. They're playing good basketball over in Hayworth. That's the first time I've been in Hayworth's gym. I'm getting to know a lot of the Bloomington normal schools. I'm getting to know a lot of those people. But it was really cool to go over and see. They've got a new gym, essentially, that was built last year. It's beautiful. Have you ever been in Monticello's gym?
I don't know that I have. I don't think I have.
One of our assistant coaches, Coach Baker, Grant, used to coach, I think, one season in the Summit League. And he looked at me last year and he's like, hey, Lon, this would probably be the 5th nicest gym in the Summit League. It's got a board. It's got a highlight board. It's remarkable. And I think now they're building other stuff in Monticello. They're putting other things out there. So I bet, that's happening all over. That's happening all over. I didn't realize I was talking to my nephew today who goes to Sullivan. He's a really good track athlete. Probably go to state in a couple events this year. And he was telling me that he's going to do some indoor events. He's going to go down to Charleston and do it. I knew that. And he said, yeah, Mount Zion. And I'm like, wait, Mount Zion's got an indoor track? He's like, oh, yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, okay. It's just I don't know. It's amazing.
Having been through it, I know Mount Zion takes their sports very seriously.
They do.
So they're usually pretty good.
And they are good at what they do.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. All right, fun to visit with Michael Marquez. That was awesome to hear what he had to say about this squad and, of course, Coach B and everything he's meant to him. I guess maybe the one question I should have asked is I always want more out of the tight ends in terms of targets and such, and it just never seems like that develops. And, whether or not those guys are getting open, whether or not they're truly dialed into a game plan, in other words, I'm not ripping on them. I'm just meaning, okay, is this
their
actually,
involvement's a big focal point.
Right. Because, look, it's the elephant in the room, Luke Ford, that all of us have expected someone that would come in here and kind of take the tight end position to another level at Illinois, at least a level that, we remember out of a Cap Boso or Michael Omanawanui or
Ken Dilger.
Yeah, why would I not go Dilger early in that one? And so it's just been sporadic a little bit at the tight end, and so you kind of thought, all right. And no, it's not Luke's fault that everybody rated him really high in high school and Obviously, he goes to Georgia, comes here. He's obviously played a lot of football. I think he still has a shot at the next level. So that would be wonderful for a young man out of Carterville. But you certainly you wanted more, right?
Absolutely.
Not just out of Luke, but out of all of the tight ends.
Yeah, definitely. And when we saw they had Daniel Barker and Luke Ford together, it never seemed like could get both going at the same time. And Luke, just in general, his production as a pass catcher has never really come along. Like I know that Jeremy and those guys, Jay that study it closer say that he's an asset as a blocking tight end and everything. But we just thought that when you're graded as a high 4-star tight end, you're thought to be someone that's going to be a pretty valuable weapon in the passing game. We just haven't seen that.
That's a good point. And I forgot, Chris did mention that my son did have a block last night. And I tweeted that out, Derek, because that is the first block a Tay has ever had.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
Yeah.
Everything is awesome.
Now, I will say this.
You had to have had a block somewhere.
I had a block on Tim Walsh from BMET, who was a really good athlete. And we smoked them twice my senior year. And Tim was all-conference kid. And I went up straight up, and he was a lot more athletic than me. I was a pretty good player, but he was just more athletic, right? I went up toe-to-toe with him and blocked the shot, and I hear from behind me. And I turned around, and I'm like, you didn't even – there's no way you saw it because I had all ball. And Tim, kind of laughs, and he goes, nice block, Lon. I'm like, did you hear what he said? So I had a block, but it didn't count because it was a foul. Yeah, I think that we've maybe blocked something before, but it was official, though. Last
Right, it wasn't recorded. It didn't go down in recorded history.
Right. I did watch it. Wade, by the way, on the U of I Lightning Lake text line, Devin Leary to Kentucky, according to ESPN. Thank you, Wade. So, yeah, that Devin Leary thing kind of got noise, and then it just kind of went away. And you said it yesterday, that Kentucky appears to be the favorite, and you
took a visit there, and there was, as you say, in recruiting, smoke coming out of Kentucky and those that are predicting these things that he was expected to go there. And I imagine Kentucky, who does pretty well in the basketball side with NIL, that was probably part of it.
Right.
And, they've had a good program here the last 5 years.
They really have. And just for the record, by the way, Devin, I didn't want you. So I'm going to throw that out there. I'd rather get one of the guys that just were on campus. I did go back today and watch some of that. The young man from Ole Miss, he came into that Sugar Bowl last year for Ole Miss early, and I think the first play was an interception return for a touchdown. It was tipped, but then it's really loud. He made he made some nice throws in that. You'll have to go back and watch that. So, I don't know. What's his name? I don't even know his name. Arnett?
I believe that's right. And you have Hudson Card from Texas. We haven't seen a landing spot for Brennan Armstrong yet, although
that's right.
I know there's been some buzz for Wisconsin with him.
Okay. I would assume we're going to hear something on that soon. Because, those got to get
those
filled.
dominoes fall.
Yeah. I would not be – you talk about staying up at night. Now, for $6 million, I'd probably sleep a little better. But, you talk about staying up at night, you're wanting to hear who's my quarterback going to be next year, because that's kind of a big position. So hopefully we'll hear something on that soon. All right, we got to catch a break. What do we got next hour? Brad Underwood met with the media today, so I'll ask you about that. Hopefully hear from him and just other stuff. We got plenty to talk about. We'll do it all next. It is The Drive. Loud.
Now, the NIL jersey lineup for your Fighting Illini. Number 55, Sky Clark. Number 15, R.J. Melendez. Number 10, Luke Goody. Number 20, Ty Rogers. Number 0, Terrence Shannon Jr. And number 33, Coleman Hawkins. Get yours at State Farm Center on game day, online or in stores. Game Day Spirit, official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
PDR Automotive in Urbana has been providing quality auto repair service for almost 50 years.
Trusted by AAA Motor Club, PDR employs ASE certified technicians that use the latest in diagnostic equipment. They offer nationwide warranties and are even authorized to perform vehicle maintenance that won't void your factory warranty. Check them out 24/7 online at pdrauto.com. When you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Flowers equals smiles equals happiness. Think love with flowers. The Blossom Basket florist can put a smile on everyone's face with a beautiful spring floral creation. Let their flowers make you a hero. Flowers are always affordable for all occasions, from simple to simply magnificent. Visit them online at blossombasket.com or come into their store at 1002 North Cunningham Avenue in Urbana.
The Blossom Basket florist, the florist you pick.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's a physical visit, not a virtual one tomorrow for President Zelensky.
Vladimir Zelensky is going to leave Ukraine for the first time since the war started and come to speak to a joint meeting of Congress in the House chamber tomorrow night. There was a cryptic message that was sent by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to her members. Please be present for a very special focus Wednesday night.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol. This comes while the Senate considers the compromise catch-all spending bill to keep the government running through the fiscal year and an additional $45 billion in aid to Ukraine.
I'm hopeful no senator will stand in the way of finishing our work before Friday. It's too important to the American people.
Senate Majority Leader Schumer, the bill needs 10 Republican votes to pass the Senate, but Oklahoma's Republican Senator James Langford tells Fox News he won't be one of them.
Absolutely zero people have read this bill at 4,000 plus pages. That was released literally in the middle of the night last night.
Without congressional action, government spending authority runs out at Friday midnight. The Justice Department has responded to an emergency request from 19 states to continue Title 42 health restrictions at the border, asking the High Court to allow Title 42 to end, but not until after Christmas. Writing in a brief to the High Court, the solution to the immigration problem cannot be to extend indefinitely a public health measure that all now acknowledged has outlived its public health justification. Texas, meanwhile, is surging National Guard troops to its border to deter illegal migrants. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts has temporarily stopped the administration from ending Title 42, which is set to expire at midnight. Wall Street snaps its losing streak with modest gains. The Dow up 92 points. NASDAQ gained a point. The S&P 500 closing 4 points higher. America is listening to Fox News.
Updated COVID vaccines are here, just in time for the season that brings us all closer. Just in time for added protection against the original COVID virus and Omicron. Just in time for crowded stores and great big family dinners. Updated COVID protection is here. And if you haven't had a vaccine since September, it's time to give yourself the gift of updated protection. Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Testosterone levels are at an all-time low. Individual T levels decline 1% every year. Chalk, CHOQ, is the new champion of natural testosterone boosters. Chalk's main ingredient is clinically studied to naturally boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity and boost your daily energy with Chalk's Male Vitality Stack. For a limited time, our listeners will get 30% off at CHOQ.com with promo code USA. CHOQ.com, code USA.
The New York Post reports former FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried has signed extradition papers in the Bahamas and could be brought to the U.S. as early as tomorrow.
When Bankman-Fried does arrive here in New York, whether it's tomorrow or it's later in the week, Fox has learned he is expected, at least at this point, to be released on bail. Deal worked out between his lawyers and the federal prosecutors here in the Southern District. The District Court Judge Ronnie Abrams, an Obama appointee, would make the ultimate decision on whether or not to grant bail in this case.
Connell McShane of the Fox Business Network. Bankman-Fried is facing federal charges, including bank and wire fraud. Scott Peterson will not get a new trial for the murder of his pregnant wife, Lacey. A judge in California ruling claims of juror bias did not merit a new trial. Peterson is serving life without the chance for parole for the murders of his wife and their unborn son 20 years ago this week. 2 people are confirmed dead, 11 hurt in the Northern California earthquake, epicentered near the coast about 120 miles south of the Oregon border. About 2/3 of Humboldt County is without power. The big winter storm closing in on the northern half of the country has spawned a blizzard warning in central and southern Minnesota, where up to 8 inches of snow could fall tonight.
Already more than 3,000 flights delayed nationwide as we expect blizzard conditions to continue, as well as below freezing, even below zero temperatures in some areas. Already major airlines are encouraging travelers to change their flights either to a different airport or travel earlier prior to much of this winter storm impacting the plains and the Northeast. Power outages and slick roads also a major concern as we head into the weekend. In Nashville, I'm Nicole Valdez, Fox Weather.
The winter storm warning stretches from eastern Nebraska to northern Wisconsin. Banking giant Wells Fargo has agreed to pay $3.7 billion in fines to settle charges it charged consumers illegal fees. I'm Jack Callahan. This is Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for eastern Illinois, Champaign, Urbana, and vicinity. Right to that forecast. A quiet day today with a couple of snowflakes this morning and a partly sunny afternoon up to 36. We'll bottom out at 21 for tonight and a snowflake or two to both early and late in the day tomorrow. The high near 31. Snow will break out tomorrow night, especially after midnight. Low down to 29. Winter storm and blizzard conditions still expected here Thursday night through Saturday morning. Turning very windy, turning sharply colder during Thursday. Periods of snow. The morning hours will feature a period or two some mixed freezing rain, sleet, and snow along at East I-57 before turning over to all snow by afternoon. Falling temperatures from a morning high of 35 with significant accumulations and blizzard conditions expected for Thursday night into Friday. Total accumulations 4 to 10 inches, heaviest to north of Champaign, we think. Highs near 5. Cold wave weather for the Christmas holiday weekend. Still blowing and drifting snow Saturday. High near 6. Will be down near 8 below Christmas morning. The high up to about 8 above. And then moderating temperatures to the lower 20s for early next week. For CVJ Broadcasting, Abby Rochus, Greg Solgay.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble. To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West. Bad Bunny. Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I am in a parking garage, kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over.
I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now. I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielema.
You no longer salute to yourself.
What? We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's The Drive.
Smack Dogs. Oh, yeah. Tuesday, right? Is today Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. All right. Good evening, everybody. It's The Drive with Tay and Piper. Lonte, Derek Piper. I'm judging Christmas lights tonight. How about that?
Nice.
You want to go?
You got it. Now that it doesn't sound fun, but you know.
No.
That was kind of the response from Pipes.
I'm just trying to sit on my couch by my Christmas tree as much as I possibly can before I hit the road. And
yeah. No, I get it.
No.
I get it. I totally get it.
I finally watched Christmas Vacation.
What?
For the first time this season last night.
Nice.
Finally. Way overdue.
The little lights aren't twinkling. Yeah, I know, Art. Thanks for noticing. Alan, are you smoking again? I love that show.
That's awesome.
I just love every part of that show. Like I know I've told you the story. My brother-in-law, David, passed away years ago, and he and I used to watch that show just countless times. And it was usually night of maybe having a cold one. And he had to be in Decatur he was a Spiral manufacturing director or whatever at ADM. And so he had to be there at like 4:30 in the morning. So he would literally fall asleep holding a beer every time we would do this. And it depended on how tired he was as to how long into the movie he would, but I never watched he never watched an entire movie. I can promise you that. Now, I was on the flip side where I didn't have to be at work at WAND until usually 1 in the afternoon because I might be covering high school football or basketball or an Illinois game or something that night. So, hell, I was up till 2, so I was good to go. And Dave's falling asleep at 9 o'clock, obviously. But his favorite part of that movie was the two guys in the truck. And when they slam on the brake and you see the bumper and it's like, whatever, Dave would start laughing so hard. And then the other one was when Clark is on the ladder doing the Christmas lights and you hear it go, clink.
Just slides all the way down. I think about that every time I put up Christmas lights.
Same here.
Or just get on a ladder, period.
Same here. Oh, my gosh. That is my favorite. Oh, I love that movie. It's probably my favorite movie ever.
Man, it's up there.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here, like I listen to Christmas music like literally for 5 months a year. But I'm not like throwing Christmas Vacation in June. So I do kind of wait at least until it gets around the Christmas time to start watching that. But I don't know. That movie I think is cool. I like Polar Express. I think it's just kind of the way it's done, the way it's based in the belief in Santa and hearing the bell. I love that movie. I like, I've never been a huge, oh my gosh, you'll shoot your eye out.
I'm with you on
Christmas
that. Christmas Story.
Now, I think that was
big on me.
That was Jeremy Warner's favorite show. Now, I like it. I watch it. I mean, but now nothing's going to come to my head now, but what is the one with Jimmy Stewart? It's a Wonderful Life. That is one of my favorites. I love, if there's a night where I just want to chill with the Christmas lights on the tree and just kind of turn the lights down and just kind of chill and relax for the night, I'll put on It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart, the old Mary. I mean, that's
a good one.
That is a really good one for
Santa
me.
Claus with Tim Allen. I like that one. Four
Yep.
Christmases. I'm big on that. Vince Vaughn. That's hilarious.
Where's he been? He's in that commercial, like the betting commercial with the Mannings.
Yes.
He's funny to me.
Oh, he's awesome.
Like, he's the everyday funny guy. So, like, in that commercial, like, there's 4 little Caesars, like, dancing around Arch Manning, or not Arch, but whatever his name is. And then, like, Vince Vaughn's like, I mean, really? 4? It's like he points out the obvious, like, Seinfeld humor. But I thought I saw that the other day, and I'm like, where's Vince Vaughn been?
Don't know. He was on a Manning cast one of the night. It was the night the Bears were playing the Patriots on Monday Night Football.
Now I would have enjoyed that. Is he a pretty big football fan?
Yeah, I think he is.
Oh,
big Bears fan. I didn't think that Peyton and Eli did the best job of like
setting him
up for his comedy, or just leading him in good direction. I think we asked better questions than those two do.
Dang.
Let me put that out there.
So where's Vince Vaughn and where's Justin Timberlake? Because I haven't heard a new song out of Timberlake in a long time. And it always comes down to this. Have you seen the video with Ian Stapleton?
I don't think so.
Say something. Say something or whatever? And I swear to you, they do it in one shoot. And they're in a building. And it's really, you take some time to watch that. It's really cool. Not as long as Christmas Vacation, but so is that one that Haley enjoys? Christmas Vacation?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, that's
she loves The Grinch too. I think that's really high on her list. But,
okay.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation is probably our shared favorite. 4 Christmases is probably a close second.
That is a good one. Who's in it with Vince? Who's the female?
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon. Not any relation to Devin, who is.
He would like it probably to be.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't a lot of people?
Exactly. He's opting out of the bowl game. How dare him? How dare him do that, Derek Piper? That's just that's the way it is. But, hey, we'll get more on the bowl game as we go along. Get you more for that. It was great to visit with Michael Marquez on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. Keep your questions coming in on the U of I Line on Link text line. You met with Brad Underwood, Coleman Hawkins, and R.J. Melendez today.
Sure did.
Any fireworks
No fireworks.
Did Coleman look at you a little strange and give
not
you a
that
little...
I was able to gather. Now, he's not going to like me for mentioning this, but Coleman threw a shot at one person. It wasn't me.
Oh.
It was actually Brett Behrens.
Oh.
Because he said he was bringing up that the bragging rights trophy is taller than that guy right over there. And he pointed right at Brett Behrens.
Oh, wow. Brett's not that short, is he?
Not that short, no.
Wow.
See, I expected if anybody was going to get anything, it was probably going to be me. But
that's a low blow, Coleman. Come on, man. Just because you're tall.
Nobody on this beat is safe.
Yeah. Like I could make fun of Coleman Hawkins for being skinny. Yeah, I called you fat. Look at me. I'm skinny. You know that, the Humpty Dance. One of the best songs ever.
I don't know if I know.
Oh, you know the Humpty Dance.
I know the Humpty Dance.
Yeah.
I don't know that line.
Yeah, I called you fat. Look at me. I'm skinny. So
RJ talked about...
Kind of a quiet dude.
He is a quieter guy. We asked him about his shoulder. He said it's still a little sore. He's practicing through it and everything.
Okay.
But it was pretty much... I think that those guys were teed up because they've been at bragging rights before.
Right.
So as far as asking about the atmosphere, what do you say to the new guys about what bragging rights is in terms of what it means to Illinois, what the atmosphere is like with the fans? The 50-50 split is such a unique thing that's really cool. And the fact that both sides are sold out. I know when Illinois tweeted it out, I was like, is that just the Illinois section that's sold out and Missouri might not be because they haven't been as good here recently, but the record
they're fired up right now.
This year is pretty solid. Now, unfortunately, the weather will probably play a factor in how much that arena actually is full. But it was cool also at one point during interviews, Chester Frazier walked in with like a poster board and he goes, hey guys, it's that time of year. And we're like, yeah. And he holds up the poster board. It's a picture of his team winning the bragging rights and hoisting up the trophy. So he's going in there, and I know he took it upon himself last year. He didn't like the fact that Missouri had won a couple in a row. He's like, when I was here, we didn't lose to those guys. This has got to matter a little bit more than what we've kind of approached this and said it's not just any other game.
So he came in bragging today.
He was bragging.
Yeah. Did Illinois win last year?
They blew him out.
That's right.
And
That's right.
Missouri had won the previous 4.
Is that right?
3 or 4. Brad won his first year, then lost year 2, year 3, year 4, won last year 5.
Okay.
So Missouri had won 3 in a row, and then Brad finally got back in the win column last year.
Of course, that we talk about it, and it is kind of uncanny a little bit how that is a – okay, let me explain it. Like, it's uncanny because it's a game of streaks. Like, Illinois will win 6 straight, Missouri will win 3, Illinois will win 3, Missouri will win 4. And I understand that how that would work. I mean, in other words, there's a plausible explanation, meaning, well, look, you had Deed, Darren, Luther. I mean, you had a hell of a class. Nobody was beating that class, so no wonder you won 3 or 4 in a row. But even that is not really the reason. It just seems like that Illinois can have the better team and Missouri could win a game, or vice versa. And it's like, so while it's a plausible explanation to understand that, well, look, Missouri had a really good crew of athletes at that time. They had a really good players, so no wonder they beat us 3 in a row. But sometimes that's not it. It's just they just beat you, or you just beat them. So it's just kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
Well, yeah, in recent seasons when Missouri's won, now they got to play at home.
That's right.
2 years ago.
Yeah, thanks, Andy.
Because of Andy Katz's coin flips. Not that there was barely any fans in the stands anyway, but they got to play at home and won that game. I didn't think that was a better Missouri team by any means. And then even the year before that when they won, on paper they weren't the more talented team objectively. It was just that for whatever reason they seemed to out-tough Illinois in those games. They cared more about it. And I think that's what's going to be a little disappointing going into this game is that while you have a good Illinois team, a Missouri team that has a good record, and we'll find out as we go along how good they actually are. But some of the familiar faces that we have established in this rivalry, where you had obviously Trent Frazier, DeMonte, all those guys on Illinois' side, but kind of the characters that you didn't like or that obviously had a grudge against Illinois, and Javon Pickett for a lot of years, and Jeremiah Tillman, and Mark Smith was over there, and the Conzo and Brad, where they had been competing for some of the same guys in recruiting, and Mark just makes that switch across enemy lines. Like that was cool, and there was obviously a lot of animosity in the building, especially from the fans.
Right.
Which that's really the fuel behind all of this.
Exactly.
But new chapter of it, and we'll see.
SEC Network.
Yes.
That's where you're going to watch it.
Better than Amazon Prime, but yes, it is SEC Network. Hopefully
or it's on FUBU or something.
FUBU is like a hip-hop clothing line.
Oh, okay. I looked today and it was like SEC Network or whatever the other. Is it not Hulu? It's not FUBU? You sure?
Maybe not. I think I'm correct in that and what FUBU is.
Somebody on the U of I Lightning Lake text line said the music at Hayworth was great last night. Yeah, it was. They kept playing Christmas music in between. Oh, did I tell you what I did? I made a fool of myself while you were looking this up. So you know, because you're around me almost on a daily basis, that my right shoulder is completely just lost. It's out. Like if I bring it up to about neck level out, it starts to hurt. If I play catch with my boys, I literally have to stand 15 feet away for minimum 15 minutes to get it warmed up enough to where I can stretch it out. And then while I'm stretching it out with playing catch, I will literally hear it at some point go like I'm breaking through scar tissue or something. And then it feels awesome for like 3 days. And when I sleep, Derek, I'm one of those arm under the pillow sleepers kind of on my side. And now I can't do that with my right shoulder because it just aches. Like I will wake up in pain in bed. Now, obviously, I need to go see the Mettler Center and have them help me out with this thing or just go get surgery on it. But last night, I was feeling good. You know, I'm always in a pretty happy mood. And they did a little halftime thing at Hayworth where they said for $1 you can shoot a half-court shot and you win special prizes at the concession stand. And I'm like, well, here we go. So I run down there and I hand the girl $1 and I get and I do like a 3-step run and I throw it to the rim. Now I used to be able to get close. You know, you've done the same thing. You can get fairly close on those. Mm-hmm. I did it twice. I hardly made it past the free throw line because my shoulder is just dead.
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh, man. So that kind of took the fun out of it. Like, there were high school girls there laughing at me, and I'm like, okay. I said, tomorrow, I saw them after the game. I said, Wednesday, I'm going to make that shot. They're like, okay. I'm like, gosh dang it. I got girls from Hayworth in high school.
Back?
Well, we play. Well, yeah, they may.
You go back Wednesday is what you're saying.
Yeah, we go back tomorrow night. They may just not even allow me on it. But they want me on the court.
Redemption, that's.
Yeah, they're like, where's the one guy? We're giving you free chances out here. Come out here. Oh, man. Yeah, that's so what happened to the physical therapy. That's Matthew Gordon. I'm going to be seeing Matthew soon because it is shot again. Dang it. All right, what was I going to ask? Oh, we were going to play Brad Underwood. That's what I was going to do.
Fubo TV.
Fubo. So I wasn't that far off.
You were not.
Fubu.
Fubu. If you search Fubu, you can get some baggy clothes that were real popular back early 2000s. Apparently they're still going, but Fubo TV is another option for streaming.
Got it. Did I ever tell you that I was messing around? I don't know if I should go this. Should I go this story? Yeah. I was messing around one day on Google and typed Lante. Do you know that's the name? It's a lady in UK, United Kingdom, that started a lingerie line called Lante. I'm like, now.
Really?
I got to have some of that, right? Not to wear, obviously, but Lante. I mean, yeah, I think you can Google it. Now, that's pretty cool. Is there any Derek Piper lingerie out there? Okay.
I could see, like, if you were in France and you said it with a nice European accent, like Lante.
Lante. Yeah.
That could be something that fits.
Are you wearing your Lante?
I don't know if the actual clothing fits, but sometimes it's not important.
Can you tell it's getting close to Christmas and we're just like, yeah. All right, so Brad looked like he had just run speaking of France, looked like he had just biked the Tour de France today. He comes out with his hair is a mess. Or it's not a mess, but it's like normally slick.
It was slick. It was just slick with sweat.
Okay.
He had a towel around his neck.
Yeah, like he's in a battle. What was he doing, like running or biking or you don't know? He didn't fill you in? Okay.
Might have been like re-listening to the press conference questions and like hitting the bag.
He's got Derek Piper's – he's got your face.
Just kidding.
On the bag, and he's just punching it. All right, here is Brad Underwood today. We're going to play just a little snippet of that, not the entire thing. But he talks about kind of the idea of the bragging rights game and how cool this thing continues to be.
Kind of a unique deal that it's lasted that long. We've seen so much change over the course of time, and even in the last 10 years, from 16 to 18 to 20 games, and for this game to continue has been a really good thing. I hope the weather doesn't hinder fans. Doesn't sound like it's going to be a real good day, but I hope fans can plan accordingly. And I heard every ticket was sold, which makes for a great atmosphere, a great game. Dennis has done a phenomenal job. He's implemented a ton of transfers. They're very, very old. They've gotten old through the transfer portal. They're a team that plays very fast. They're number one in the country in transition points. They're a team that can really get it going in transition. They play a lot of 5-out. They play a lot of, they press some of the same things that we do. And, they've done that to a 10-1 start. So with their one loss being to Kansas, who arguably be one of the better teams in the country. So
there you go. That's Brad Underwood talking about Missouri.
There you go, yep.
And you found...
I found Miss Lante.
So it's Miss Lante, Lonta.
Silk lingerie, body, and beachwear.
Let's go!
It's a real thing.
So all of you out there listening, how cool am I now? They have a lingerie
pretty cool
line named
One of the
after
links is Honeymoon 90s. So if anyone out there is getting married soon, you want to be reminded of Lon on your honeymoon, get one that says Lante on it.
Oh, my Lord. Now, I tried to order a few years ago, and they weren't taking orders. Does it look like that it's back?
There are links that say buy. Yep.
Okay.
And they have prices both in euros and in dollars.
And they're proud of their lingerie. It's like $80. Maybe that's normal. I don't.
This set I'm looking at right now is for $260.
What?
For your honeymoon set.
260 euros or
260 American.
Woo!
Yep. So it's
well, it costs a lot to wear Lante.
High class.
Just called Miss MISS and then space Lante together. LONTAY.
Yep.
Probably my proudest moment.
Probably the poorest transition, but on the note of European, Zachary Perrine, French big man, joining the Illini program. We can talk about that when we come back.
That was well done, Derek. Let's do that. All right. It's a drop.
Feel the difference with the most trusted sewer service team in Central Illinois. From clogged pipes to broken sewer lines, you can trust the experts at Matex for quick and reliable residential service and repair. Call, text, or schedule your service online. Matex. Feel the difference. Feel the difference with the most trusted sewer service team in Central Illinois. From clogged pipes to broken sewer lines, you can trust the experts at Matex for quick and reliable residential service and repair. Call, text, or schedule your service online. Matex. Feel the difference.
Carl works every day to improve the health of community members across the region, and it would not be possible without team members like Dwayne Linton, a nationally certified nurse in the emergency department at Carl Foundation Hospital.
I work with a team of people who really care about what they do and are very flexible and adaptive in rapidly changing critical situations, and I would trust any of them at any time.
If you're looking for an opportunity to serve your community like Dwayne in a supportive environment, visit carl.org/careers.
Here's what new customers are saying about Interstate Batteries.
It's nice to see capable and helpful associates. They did a top-notch job.
They were easy to talk to and explained everything.
Service was prompt and I was a walk-in. Total service time was only like 20 minutes. I highly recommend Interstate Batteries.
Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable. How much is dependable worth? Experience them for the first time at 2504 North Mattis. Way out there, but worth the drive. Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable.
Visit interstatebatteries.com.
What do you mean, I get the whole store?
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. And when we promise you the whole store, we mean all we do is appliances. We offer a showroom full of the top appliance brands, complete with our free 10-year protection plan.
Who does your warranty work? Some outfit with a 1-800 number?
No way. Our service and installation technicians are employed and factory trained by us. And our protection plan means you pay nothing for covered repairs.
So, I get a free 10-year protection plan, a guaranteed best deal, a hometown service department, and a showroom full of name brand appliances? Wow!
Hey lady, that's my line. All we do is appliances, and we do them better than anyone else. Wow!
Big Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Hi, this is Chris Jackson with Kramer Siding and Window. And whatever your project, you can count on Kramer Siding to offer you the best products backed by the best warranties in the business, as well as Central Illinois employees dedicated to providing you with professional installation and a lifetime of great customer service. And right now, you can save 10% on roofing, sunrooms, and decks, get 15% off gutter helmet, and you can save 25% on preservation siding, windows, and doors. So call today or visit us at kramersiding.com and let's get started on your project.
PDR Automotive in Urbana is a locally owned repair shop, and they've now serviced over 250,000 vehicles in their near 50-year history. Now, that's more than 4 times the size of a sold-out Memorial Stadium. It's more than all Division I athletes in the country combined. That's more than the entire population of Champaign County. That's more than, well, you get the idea. When you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Georgia B at Stevie J Broadcasting, and you are listening to the amazing ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, it is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5, The Drive with Tay and Piper, 359-2255. You can text us on the U of I Illini Link text line. Use that 217, of course. 359-2255. That's also the phone number that Michael Marquez used on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line to join us last hour, Illinois tight end. Tomorrow we will visit with Illinois recruiting coordinator Pat Embleton right off the top of the show at 4:05. And talk about the signing class tomorrow for Illinois football. It is a big class coming in. And there's still a couple of names out there. Jair Hill, who mysteriously took Michigan off his
top 5.
Yeah. And we've thought all along that it's been Michigan and Illinois.
He had crystal ball picks in for Michigan, and the buzz recently had been Michigan or Illinois for him. So he just released a top 5 yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And there was no Michigan, but Purdue was added to the list.
Well, that's an interesting one. The other one is Malik Elzy. He of his 1920 leather football helmet.
Can't get over that one.
No, I can't. He obviously would be huge. And
former Cincinnati commit,
yeah,
right?
Decommitted from them. And the only visit, according to Jeremy and Illini Inquirer, the only visit he's taken since then, since his decommitment, is to Illinois. And he's going to announce at the, what is it called, All-American Bowl or whatever that is. So, yeah, that and who knows, maybe Brett Bielema already knows that he's going to be part of this class. But we won't know on him tomorrow. I don't know if we will know on Hill tomorrow. I'm not sure, but obviously those are two big, like, 4-star guys that are out there that could make a dent on a program. I think, according to 247, is ranked like 42nd in the country, 9th, I think, in the Big Ten. So, obviously still some work to do, but I think a pretty solid class for Illinois. I know from reading some of Joey and Jeremy's stuff that it appears that the defensive line, you didn't necessarily hit on what you needed to there, but you've added some really good defensive backs. You've added a couple of nice receivers. Of course, you add the local Caden Fagan from Arthur, big running back, that who knows if he'll stay at running back, but he's obviously anybody that saw him play this year quarterback, you can see how he moves. Well, and the perfect example of that is Britt Miller. Britt Miller was the quarterback at Decatur Eisenhower and was fast as ever. And he turned into one hell of a linebacker at Illinois. So, and those teams did some damage, obviously, with Jay Lehman. So we'll see what happens to Caden down the road. But you also added a punter from local El Paso, I believe, who's like the 4th punter in the country, like he's listed 4th in the country, and a kicker who's 5th in the country. So you've added to that as well some linebackers, obviously, offensive line. You've got some guys coming in. They get the young man Avery Jones from East Carolina, who started at center, and I think he's got 3 years to play. Or no, he's only got a year to play. Maybe I think he's only got 1 year, but he could be your center next year. And obviously, you lost Pilstrom in that regard. So. On the note of football, and then we're going to get to Zachary Perrine and Illinois basketball. On the note of football, the news today, Brett Bielema with an extension and a raise. Due to make $4.4 million next season, he's now going to make $6 million. So a nice raise for Brett Bielema. I mean, we knew it was coming, right? That's the point.
Yeah, we knew it was coming when you saw midseason Barry Lenny Jr. getting extended. The buzz around was that the intention was to extend not only Lunny but also Walters and Brett Bielema. There's no question that had Ryan Naughton gotten hired at a Power 5 position for a head coach, he would have been afforded the opportunity to stay here longer with a pay raise, which would have been very well deserved. But for Brett to get this and now vault into, although now when we did the homework of seeing Luke Fickell now in here, Matt Rule, you obviously have Ryan Day, Mel Tucker towards the top of the pay scale, at the top of the pay scale in the Big Ten, and you put Harbaugh and James Franklin. Like, I think that puts Brett Bielema 8th in the Big Ten as far as salary, but top 15 nationally, based on last year's salary numbers across college football. So let's just call it top 20 with adding some new hires who are going to make some really good money, but it's very much deserved. Where he has this program after year 2 is 8 wins and going to it's usually a New Year's Day bowl, but a January 2nd bowl. That's obviously a great achievement and something you can build off of. And that's kind of the thing now. Can you build it into a consistent, sustained winning program? And that's the next challenge.
That's huge. And, of course, Aaron Henry, the next defensive coordinator for Illinois, obviously he coached secondary. So you will now need to hire a secondary coach and also an outside linebacker coach where Kevin Kane left. So we'll see where they go there. Terrence Jamison is your defensive line coach. Andy Boo is your inside linebacker coach. I think Andy and Terrence, they're going to do, Terrence will handle the line still. I assume Andy will handle all the linebackers. And then he did mention another gentleman's name that was a GA, I think, that'll help with the outside linebackers at the bowl game. And then Henry will do the secondary. So Aaron Henry, look, he was all over. I know we gave, and rightfully so, we gave Ryan Walters a lot of credit for what he was able to do, not only on that defense, but with that secondary. But Aaron Henry is the secondary, or was the secondary coach. And that secondary is maybe going to have 3 guys playing in the NFL. Maybe. I don't know. That's probably a little bit of a long shot. Definitely 1 with Witherspoon. Hopefully 2 with Sid, who, I would hire him I would draft him just for special teams. And just know that he's going to be the next Vi Sikahema, who you don't know.
I don't know who that is.
He was the only representative from the Cardinals football every year in the Pro Bowl because they had to have one. That was the rule.
Uh-huh.
So every year the Cardinals got Vi Sikahema, who was a special teams stud. And he was. He actually was a stud. I mean, he was like the best special teams player in the NFL.
It makes me think of Oz Hakeem.
Yeah.
From the Rams back in the day.
Rams?
The punt returner.
Then he played for Detroit.
Yeah, the Lions a little bit.
Oz Hakeem, was he with Holt and Bruce?
Might have been.
I think he was on those teams. Now, Ricky Prohl was on that team. We're going down a vicious.
We are.
We better not
we
go down
said
that
we're
list.
going to.
Yeah, let's talk Zach Perrine.
Talk Zach Perrine.
Let's talk Zachary Perrine. So he can play immediately.
He can. He's been at Sunrise Christian. He never suited up for them, but he was trying to get enrolled for the fall. It ultimately didn't happen. There were some academic hurdles that he wasn't able to get over to get that done at the forefront of this season. And then spent a couple of months there in Wichita, Kansas at Sunrise Christian. Got to practice against some of the best players in the country. That's a really good, you call it maybe a prep school or just a high-profile high school.
Yeah.
That's got a number of high-major talents there. So you add him mid-year, he's immediately eligible. Just how do you get him, how quickly can you get him acclimated to what you do as far as a system, like how you play offensively, what you do defensively, getting the chemistry with the teammates. So that's all got to pan out. I wouldn't expect to see him in action
No,
against Missouri.
I wouldn't throw him
coming
in
up
that
on Thursday, but
no,
it's just something that as you get towards the meat of the Big Ten season, maybe you get closer to postseason, can he just be someone that in a pinch, if you get in foul trouble, like if Coleman gets in foul trouble, like you say he plays Zach Edey, the last game of the year, and then oh no, that would be bad news for you there in West Lafayette, especially if you're playing for a Big Ten title. But just as an example, Coleman's playing a lot of minutes right now, even as Dane here of late isn't playing as many. Like he played 12 minutes against Penn State.
I was going to ask you that.
He played 11 against Alabama A&M. So his minutes are starting to tick down. You're putting more on Coleman's shoulders, and to have a Zachary Perrine who's a talented guy. I know that he needs to add strength. I know that he's coming in mid-year where that's a tough ask for somebody. So Brad even today was asked about like kind of what do you expect? He said, I don't really know at this point. What I had been hearing back in the fall was if we can get him in mid-semester, at some point we could use him, 5 minutes a game.
Okay.
And use him if there is foul trouble. And I think he will jump Brandon Lieb in the pecking order of being someone that, hey, at the 5, you got to be able to throw in there in a pinch.
Okay. Skilled dude.
Yes.
Not a banger.
No, he's not. He needs time to get physically stronger. That's one of the things that you look at. And then also he's a capable shooter, but consistency needs to come along. They've some around the program have said he's kind of similar to what we had in Coleman early in his career.
Okay.
So Coleman has obviously progressed with his game, but he's kind of the same body type and the same, and he's not going to be that good of a defender right off the bat, but he's kind of that mold of a stretch big man, good passer, can play outside of the paint, and you hope that his jump shot comes along further and that he can just kind of get acclimated to playing Big Ten level of competition. The good news is he's played at the national team level for France. He's played against some good players over there, and it was a good addition for Illinois to be able to get him committed this past summer.
Kind of a mixed bag on the international. Obviously, you had Georgie, who came in here, and his freshman year, we were all of our eyes were wide open.
Yes.
That's like a James Bond, eyes wide open. But, I mean, you saw the skill. You saw he could use both hands around the basket. And I remember making the comment to you, I've never seen an Illinois big man be able to use both hands equally well underneath the basket. And that includes like Dion. I mean, Dion was a stud. Dion would hit me if he heard me say this, but obviously Dion could score, could do whatever he wanted. But for what maybe I think with Georgie it was like, well, I'm not expecting much. And then he came in and was an impact player on an Illinois team and then had a pretty impactful career at Illinois. But then you also have like Matisse
Vasile, yep,
who didn't impact anything.
No.
So you kind of don't know which. I mean,
Boss Man's Verdonk, another
Boss
one.
Man's, yeah,
and
that's
of course,
right.
if you're just talking guys from internationally, but Kofi got to come over from Jamaica, play years in high school in New York.
That's
a little bit
that's
different.
fair.
Same with
That's
Curbelo
fair.
from Puerto Rico. But yeah, in terms of coming directly from international, you mentioned it there. I mean, Georgie had 1 year in New Jersey playing there in high school, so a little bit more experience. But yeah, Benjamin Bossmans Verdonk, straight from Germany.
Right.
Or Belgium, I should say.
I'd forgotten about that.
And then also Matisse, but this is a different level. Like when, what's his name, from ESPN, NBA, when that is started to be covered, when he made his decision, and you have ESPN running that story, I mean, that shows that he was on the radar of some NBA guys. Like,
Okay.
Not to be like a draft pick right away or anything. They're just familiar with him being a pretty prominent name in the overseas basketball community.
Very cool.
He had an offer to stay in France and play professionally for 6 figures, and they wanted to keep him there. Texas was involved, UCLA, as far as teams trying to bring him in. But from what I've been told, like as far as overseas and who was involved in his recruitment and some of the guys helping him and guiding him, these are some of the same people that have helped Arizona get a lot of. You think of Laurie Markkinen, you think of Azuolas Tubelis, you think of some of their international guys. Like for Illinois to crack into that circle and be able to get one of these guys, and if they do well with him,
right,
it could help lead to some others down the road. But watching him on film, he gives me a little bit of a. He kind of looks like Trace Jackson Davis a little bit. He's not nearly as athletic,
right?
It's just that he's kind of got that slender, big man that can play a little bit outside the paint, although he shoots it better than Trace does, and he's skilled with his back to the basket. But as far as what I've heard, based on how he looked at Sunrise Christian, is a lot of it is similar to Coleman, wanting to play on the perimeter, wanting to dribble, wanting to pass, and then has good length and an ability to develop the jump shot. So I know long-term they're super excited about him. It's just what can he do this year? I think it's just spot minutes if he can get up to speed quickly enough.
You mentioned Trace Jackson Davis, Indiana. When we come back, I want to go through some – you were wanting to do this yesterday if we had time, to go through some games that happen and kind of comment on that. Before we catch a break, real quick, I want you to hear from Shauna Green, Illinois women's basketball coach. They play tomorrow. Illinois is 10-2. They play Florida Atlantic tomorrow at noon at State Farm Center. So if you have the week off or you have something to do or nothing to do, and you want to go catch Illinois women's basketball tomorrow at noon against Florida Atlantic, a chance to see Shauna Green. Of course, they're coming off their big win, their bragging rights win over a good Missouri team.
For us to go in there in that environment and to beat a really quality team that I think is an NCAA tournament team, that's what was big for us. We've had some wins, but that was obviously the best team that we have beat, and especially on the road. So I think it just means a lot for the program, for where we're at, where we're going, more importantly. We're still trying to garner some respect, and I think that we're just focused on trying to continue to get better and better, but happy for these guys because they've worked hard for it.
Yeah, no doubt, and a cool story that just keeps developing. Now, like Illinois men, they're going to jump straight into Big Ten basketball soon, and we know the grind of that. So, and she even said that, we feel like we just have to keep proving ourselves, and I think she gets that, and I think to a degree, not that it's her fault, I think to a degree, Illinois fans are like, okay, well, hold on. When is the bottom going to drop out on this? But luckily, so far, it has not, and they just keep posting wins that are more impressive as the last. So I think it's great what's happening, and hopefully they'll get a win tomorrow against Florida Atlantic and then be ready to go. I think they go to Wisconsin to start Big Ten play, so we'll see. I know they've started Big Ten play. My fault. I know they played Indiana, and then they beat Rutgers, I believe.
Yep.
But it's the bulk of the Big Ten where it's just Big Ten,
right?
Is what I'm talking.
To beat what was an 11-1 Missouri team at Missouri,
that's impressive.
It's a good win. Unfortunately, Makira Cook got banged up in that game, and I haven't heard any follow up on whether she's going to be out.
And they played without their leading scorer in that game. Was that Cook? I think she was sick. I could be wrong. I thought I read that. but I could be wrong. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Essentially without your leading scorer, like you said, and then –
You're right. She was sick.
Okay.
Yep.
So nothing – in other words, no long-term issues with her. She should be back hopefully soon. But everybody's sick. Everybody in the world's sick, it seems like. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little Indiana basketball because they're not doing as well as we thought.
Not so hot.
Although you've got your Indiana red hat on.
No.
Oh, no, that's a Cardinals.
SDL.
That's a Cardinals hat.
And some of my fellow media did not enjoy. You know, the Cubs fans out there still don't like the fact that their boy Willie's going to put on one of these.
Yeah.
But it's just
Don't
the reality.
they have Dansby? I mean, they got Dansby.
They do, yeah.
They should be happy about that. Have we talked about that?
We haven't talked about Dansby.
It just kind of happened. Did it happen over a weekend or something?
Happened on Saturday. I think it broke during the game of the Illinois-Alabama game.
Maybe tomorrow we'll talk a little Dansby Swanson. How about that? Okay, we'll do that. All right, back to talk some college hoop and wrap it up. It is The Drive.
Hi, this is Kirk Lehman with Aftershock Decals and Design. And right now we are looking for an honest, hardworking individual that wants a career with Aftershock Decals and Design. If you have any kind of experience wrapping vehicles, tinting windows, we want you.
You can't touch this.
No, not that kind of wrapper.
Can't touch this.
Please go to our website at aftershockdd.com, click on the Jobs tab, and send in your resume. We want you. aftershockdd.com.
When you're buying a battery, it's important to look beyond just the price and make sure you're buying a quality battery. So when you're buying one from the big box store, make sure you ask the question, what's the date on this battery? Is it dependable? Sometimes the big box stores have batteries that have been sitting on the shelf for years. Or you can just come to Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable, and buy your battery from the people who only do batteries. Interstate Batteries at 2504 North Madison, Champaign, way out there, but totally worth the drive. How much is dependable worth to you? Interstate Batteries open 6 days a week.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he had a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
PDR Automotive in Urbana is a locally owned repair shop, and they've now serviced over 250,000 vehicles in their near 50-year history. Now, that's more than 4 times the size of a sold-out Memorial Stadium. It's more than all Division I athletes in the country combined. That's more than the entire population of Champaign County. That's more than, well, you get the idea. When you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
In an ever-changing real estate market, it's important to work with experienced agents. Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor teams at RE/MAX Realty Associates have the knowledge and expertise to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Trust the experience and success of Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor team at RE/MAX. Give them a call today at 217-355-0700 or visit them online at taylorboys.com. That's taylorboys.com.
Prairie Gardens is your local one-stop gift shop. It's a magical winter wonderland full of perfect holiday gifts. With candles and scents full with warmth and cheer. Stocking stuffers and toys for the smallest of receivers. Gifts for the gardener and bird lover. And a peachy boutique with buy one, get one half off savings. All jewelry, hats, gloves, and scarves. Buy one, get one half off this week. At Prairie Gardens, your Christmas destination for over 50 years.
Feel the difference with the most trusted sewer service team in Central Illinois. From clogged pipes to broken sewer lines, you can trust the experts at Matex for quick and reliable residential service and repair. Call, text, or schedule your service online. Matex. Feel the difference. Feel the difference with the most trusted sewer service team in Central Illinois. From clogged pipes to broken sewer lines, you can trust the experts at Matex for quick and reliable residential service and repair. Call, text, or schedule your service online. Matex. Feel the difference.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Georgia B. Catch my boys Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Drive. Boom, boom, brr.
right, Derek Piper. It is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5, Latte, Derek Piper. You had some games nationally that you wanted to look at. Of course, Indiana played Kansas.
They did.
And lost.
They've now lost 3 of their last 4. Now they've played some tough games. They played at Rutgers and lost. They lost to Arizona and they lost to Kansas. What's interesting, I saw a stat. Jeff Borzello had it on ESPN. During their last 2 losses against Zona and then Kansas, they got outscored like 92-46 in the paint.
Whoa.
And if there's one thing you would expect that Indiana could do, throw it inside to Trace, have Race Thompson be able to score in the paint, but
man,
Arizona really limited Trace Jackson Davis, and so did Kansas. And they kind of double-teamed him and made people other than Trace beat them. And, I mean, that's kind of the recurring narrative around Indiana is like, do they have enough guard play? Do they have enough shooting to beat you if you're able to contain Trace? And one thing to note, like they've had injuries at guard, like Hood Schifino missed the Rutgers game and the Arizona game with an injury. First game back against Kansas did not play well. And then kind of the bigger picture one is Xavier Johnson had a foot injury, and I don't think anything's officially been said, but there's been some fears that he might have broke his foot, and then that could be a long-term issue for a team that's not loaded at guard.
It's interesting because I don't know. It just felt like we were all awarding Indiana a really good season, and yet all of us, not all of us, but a lot of us were just sitting there going, look, I can understand why they think they're going to be good, but I haven't seen necessarily anything to show me that they're ready to take that next step.
Right.
Now that they're playing good teams. So obviously that is something, they're not losing to Eastern Kentucky, let's say. But I don't know. I don't know. I just have never bought completely in on Indiana, and I think it's because I can't completely buy in on Trace Jackson Davis. There's just something missing from his game to me. Like Kofi was a double-double machine. Kofi had his negatives, right? His defense wasn't the best. He's not going to shoot from outside. But he was so dominant at what he did. And I don't know that Trace Jackson Davis is that dominant at one thing.
I think that's fair.
He can run the court. He's pretty good defensively.
Good defender, yep.
But I don't know. All right. What else did you see on the national landscape?
There was in terms of the Big Ten, Ohio State played North Carolina. That was an overtime game. Pete Nance showed up big for the Tar Heels, and that was one that Ohio State let slip away because they were kind of in control for a long time until down the stretch. I believe Nance that hit the shot that sent it to overtime. That was during the middle of the Illinois game, so I'm not entirely sure, but I know that North Carolina ended up winning 89-84 in the CBS Classic. On the other end of that event at Madison Square Garden, UCLA, who's now become one of the hottest teams in the country. That's good news for Illinois in terms of how that looks on the resume. They beat Kentucky 63-53. There's a lot of talk now about, oh boy, John Calipari, you better get things going, or who knows? They're 7-5. No, it's not 7-5. They're 7-3, but they're only 1-3 in games against high majors.
Whoa.
And then Arizona.
Well, you hate to see that.
You hate to see
hear that.
Arizona in a number 9 versus number 6. They beat Tennessee. It was at home for Arizona, so they had an advantage there. 75-70. Arizona lost some good pieces off that team last year. Benedict Mathurin, Christian Coloco. Who's the other guy?
I remember all of them.
That was a good team, but they've reloaded, and they're one of the best out there yet again.
Should we text Christian back and let him know to not continue to go down the path he's going right now? Because I don't think he's supposed to be texting us.
Should I say yes? I could eat. Jim said on the U of I Liner Link text line, real quick, would Illinois consider not playing Perrine this year to save another year?
Yeah.
I don't think that.
I think you worry about that
We don't
anymore.
see a lot of red shirts around, college basketball, especially, with the portal. And I don't think a lot of guys come in thinking they're going to play 4 years. So I don't think that they're going to worry about that.
That's a good call. Yeah, Christian said, I'm home now. Should I start cooking? Yeah.
Yes. Pipes
and I will be there. We'll be there. We're
Send
on
the
our
address.
way. I think it's way up north, so it'll be a long drive. Okay. Long drive. All right, Pipes, good stuff today. Thanks to Michael Marquez, joined us on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. Pat Embleton tomorrow, signing day, Illinois football. We'll talk all about that, plus bragging rights and more, maybe even a little Dansby. It is the drive.
If you're looking for a new car, go to Sarah Champaign, because at Sarah Subaru, they have over 100 new Subarus available right now, all with symmetrical all-wheel drive. The Subaru Share the Love event is on, too. With every new Subaru purchased or leased through January 3rd, Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of charities. Sarah Subaru will also donate an additional $50 to the Champaign County Humane Society right here in our community. Visit Sarah Subaru right off Route 45 in Savoy.
Now, the NIL jersey lineup for your Fighting Illini. Number 55, Sky Clark. Number 15, R.J. Melendez. Number 10, Luke Goody. Number 20, Ty Rogers. Number 0, Terrence Shannon Jr. And number 33, Coleman Hawkins. Get yours at State Farm Center on game day, online or in stores. Game Day Spirit, official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
Ring in the new year at Pia's with me, Diane.